We've been doing so well at Underdog Fantasy that they are delaying when they release their lines. So now we're playing the game of do I attack or do I wait? And whether or not they're actually delaying the release of these lines because of us and our recent success, I don't know. I do know that I have finally found my spots, and we're going to go ahead and dive in. If you don't know what Underdog Fantasy is, it's daily fantasy. You come in here, you say higher or lower than any of the numbers you see on the screen, you slap a few of them together, and you can make a bunch of money. It's a ton of fun, it's super easy, and it's just a nice way to spruce up your fight watching time. They'll even give you free money to play. All you need to do to get the free money is go to wewantpicks.com/underdog and use promo code WWP. As soon as you use that code, the free money comes pouring in. All sorts of deposit matches and options to you, because they want you to come in here. They want you to enjoy yourself, because then you will continue to play on their platform. wewantpicks.com/underdog, promo code WWP. And while I open this up with a pretty dramatic statement that they're delaying the release of their lines because of our success, I'm being somewhat sarcastic there. We have been wildly successful recently, though, with our Underdog Fantasy plays, and we don't have all the lines yet. What I think they're doing is just being more and more cautious. They release some lines. They see what the market does to them, because all of these numbers do adjust with money. If tons of money comes pouring in on Khamzat over on the finish, that line is going to go down. Same with strikes and round lines and everything else. So they're just slow dripping these to us. But I have waited. We found our spots, and I'm going to jump on them now before these lines move as well. So let's go ahead and dive in. Again, if you've never played before, use promo code WWP when you signed up, and they'll give you all sorts of free money. Helps us out, helps you out. I mean, if we're not scratching each other's backs, what the hell are we doing at this sleepover? We got Dricus du Plessis and Khamzat in the main event. If you think Dricus wins by finish, you will get 2 times on your entire ticket, 2 times your money. I'm not touching it. We're going to leave that alone. I also am not going to touch anything on the Khamzat side, because I don't know what the hell is going to happen in this fight. I'm picking Khamzat to win. If this guy wins in 8 seconds, nobody's surprised. If he gets battered and bruised because he gassed out and it goes 25 minutes, nobody's surprised. There's not a single surprising outcome here other than Dricus shooting a blast double through Khamzat's face and subbing him. Every other outcome on the table. So we're going to leave that alone. We're trying to build consistent winning entries here, not wild long shot craziness. Lerone Murphy, Aaron Pico, co-main event, another tricky spot, because Aaron Pico, while I am very confident that he wins, is unproven at this level. At this level, he's unproven. The only line I'm looking at of his that I really like is the over 2.5 takedowns. This guy's a wrestling beast. If you don't know, he graduated high school, tried out for the Olympics, made it all the way to the Olympic trial finals. It was tied 1-1. He gave up a point, didn't make it. This is a high school kid. Then he said, screw it, I'm done. Went into professional MMA. So is he going to get 3 takedowns against a guy that has been taken down a handful of times? Potentially. We're going to leave it alone, though, because I think we've learned you can't fully trust these UFC newcomers. Carlos Prates, Jeff Neal. Jeff Neal's tough as shit. And Carlos Prates is very low volume. 49.5 significant strikes is probably a line that works for us. So I'm going to hit the lower there. I've already got an entry built without this, and I'll show you that as well. You can mix and match. The reality is, you go through Carlos Prates' fight history, there are not a lot of fights where he gets near this number. The only one was Jing Lang, and that's because he went absolutely bananas to find that finish. All of his other fights, not getting near that number, especially against somebody as tough as Jeff Neal. And I know that logic is counter, right? The logic is, well, if Jeff Neal's so tough, this fight's going to go a little long, so he's going to land more strikes. And while that logic is traditionally sound, Carlos Prates is sort of a low-volume, pinpoint accuracy kind of guy, and he doesn't pour it on until you're in trouble. So if Jeff Neal isn't weak and wobbled late round 2, we're not going to get a wild 20-punch flurry out of Carlos Prates. So I do like the lower there. I absolutely love, with insane conviction, the lower on Michael Venom Page's line. Now, this is 49.5. Over at Prize Picks, they're going to give you 50-something. Now, it's only 4 or 5 extra strikes, but that could be a big, that's 10% we're talking here. The reality is, Michael Venom Page doesn't get to this number in 3-round striking-only matchups. He didn't get to it with Kevin Holland. He didn't get to it with Shara Bullet. 15 full minutes, striking only, no grappling. In this fight, Even if we get a 15-minute striking only, he's able to stay on the outside. A, he might get a finish. B, if he doesn't get a finish, could be a very similar situation than those other two fights where he wins a point fight, doesn't land a ton of strikes. Or if he loses because he's fighting a giant dude with a ton of experience and lots of wrestling, he's held against the cage, he's taken down, he's controlled. He doesn't get anywhere that number in that fight either. So the lower on Michael Venom Page's strike line is a line that I like quite a bit. Let's continue to work our way down. The rest of these are very tricky because we have significant strike lines and finish lines. Mikhail Olajaychuk, if he wins, 100% by finish. There's no decision here. He's finishing Gerald Meerschaert if he wins. And while the odds are positive he's going to win, the reality in this situation is this is a 50-50 fight. The fact that Olajaychuk is a 2-1 favorite is insane to me. He has no takedown defense, no ground game. Gerald Meerschaert is an absolute submission beast. Gerald Meerschaert's also chinny as shit, so he could get knocked out cold. 36.5 significant strikes is a number that I want to hit the under. It's in my brain saying hit the under because he's going to knock this guy out or be submitted. But we're going to leave it alone because every random now and then, Gerald Meerschaert's chin isn't made out of glass and he just takes his beating. Let's work our way down and let's go ahead and hit the higher on Alexander Hernandez's significant strike line. This guy flies past this number in many fights, just flies past this number. He's tough, he's fast, he's high volume. I understand that Chase Hooper is the biggest favorite on the card, but first of all, not a tremendous favorite. This card has razor-thin lines. And second of all, Chase Hooper, in order to dominate this fight, is going to need to get a bunch of takedowns and potentially a finish. I don't quite see that happening. I think he'll get a takedown or two, and he may control a round or two. But we only need 34.5 significant strikes. If this goes the distance, 10 significant strikes per round. It's 5 minutes. It's 5 minutes. All we need is 10 good strikes in 5 minutes each round. And you know how this game goes. There's going to be a flurry here, a flurry there. I think Anthony Hernandez flies past this number, and the data supports that. So let's take a look at our entry. We've got the lower on Carlos Prates' significant strike line. We have the lower on Michael Venom Page's significant strike line, and the higher on Alexander Hernandez' significant strike line. By the time you're watching this, you might get more of these finish lines, higher and lower by finish. I absolutely love grabbing the dogs and doing lower by finish. We have been cleaning up with those lines. So if you are watching this, potentially on Saturday morning, Friday afternoon, and those lines are available to you, take a close look at those as well. No matter what you end up doing here, whether you run with this entry or the entry that I have already built that doesn't include Prates, with the lower on Venom and the higher on Hernandez, whatever you end up doing, use the promo code. They will give you free money, and then we'll get a couple of bucks. WeWantPicks.com/underdog, promo code WWP.